Well, it's time for some positivity and good vibes.
Our good friend, spiritual coach Vincent Genna, he is back to talk about the importance of family. Vincent, so good to see you.
It's always great to be here. You know that. And now with Trent as well. That's fabulous.
We're expanding our family.
Our family. Yes, I see. There's all kinds of family, aren't there?
There is. Let's talk about family. I've heard it said, and I probably will agree, that it's the most important thing there is.
Actually, Amber, you're absolutely right with that, because family is the core of society. That's the whole thing. If you really think about it, and back in the old days, and I'm not talking about when I was older, I'm talking about even beyond that. Back in the old days, this society, the community, was the family. So we added to the community with the children, and there were several members of that community taking care of each other now, right? So that was one whole big family. And in actuality, we are constantly trying to strive towards that even today. So yes, the family winds up being the core unit, and it is actually influences society, but society also influences and affects the family. It is also a reflection. Whatever is going on in society tends to go on within the family unit because of those individual pieces that make up that society, right?
Well, tell us about those individual pieces, because we know it takes a village, and I love the generations of a family. I always think about my beloved grandparents. How does every generation come into play?
Oh, wow. Well, you learn so much gets passed down to you, right? Okay. But it also, back in those days, they had different things that they had to deal with, right? So, back then, they were cooking bread in a brick oven or, mortared oven that they made for themselves. Right now, we got microwaves and we've got all these wonderful stoves and stuff. So there were a lot of things that we did forget, but we always have the foundation of what our ancestors passed down to us. What was important to the family? And you see that. Now, what's really interesting is because of the different cultures and our different ancestor upbringing, we have a different portion of values today that do change. For example, the northern families, right about the time of the antebellum South and that period, they became industrialized. So the families had to split apart to go to work. Okay. So dad went one place, the sons and the children went other places outside. That's what they had to do in order to bring in that income and help the family survive. Down here in the South, it was more about farming. And so family members got to stay together. So you had a big plantation and a big farm. So your daughter, your son would now build a home on your plantation and stay nearby. So all of the ancestors got a chance to pass that information down to them and that lifestyle down to them for them to survive.
Vincent, how do you think that those changes change the dynamics of a family unit?
Wow. Okay. Well, I will tell you this. This is what's really interesting. All that has gone on within the society has put a lot of pressure on the family unit. Now, remember, I said it was the entire culture and a whole little society that was the original family. So now think of that big piece there. Maybe there were 100 members of that particular community, right? That was the family. Now take that 100 people and all the attention that everybody was getting and put it on maybe 5 people, maybe 6 people, maybe 3 people, sometimes even just 2 when you have some single parenting going on, right? And all of that pressure and attention, our requirements, believe it or not, have not changed as individuals. We still require love, we require affection, we require attention, and we require the same amount. So the family is what's going to determine how you get that attention now, isn't it? Right?
Well, you're going to help us. Yep. We're going to go to break and then come back and help us maybe deal within our own families and deal with all these changes.
Let's make those families even stronger today. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
You're going to be here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm part of the family.
Don't leave. We'll be right back with Vincent. Thanks for staying staying with us on My Carolina. Before the break, we were talking with our friend Vincent Genna about creating happy and healthy families.
Yeah.
Some of the changes. You're ready, Vincent. You're ready. We're just going to go right
I am all ready. Now, what I want to bring up is understand now, when we say the word family, there is usually a word that is very typical to be in front of that one, and that is the word dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Okay, so they tend to go together now. Everybody is saying, oh, I come from a dysfunctional family. Don't you come from a dysfunctional family? I bet you my dysfunctional family is more dysfunctional than your family. So they're rating the dysfunction of the family. And it's
Which is
true.
so dysfunctional.
No, really, just
yes.
say it and spew it out like that. How do we make it functional?
Well, we're going to make it functional by understanding, first of all, we've got to change the pressures that are hitting the family from the societal norms that are going on at the time, right? So right now, a lot of society issues going on, and that is affecting the family and the family members. So now what you have to do is you have to go within that family and strengthen it. And there's two words, again, that I want to use to help you with that. The first word is unconditional. The second word is love. Now, I just don't mean unconditional love. I mean unconditional everything. In order for that family to try to survive, many of the members have expectations for what the family members are going to do. We have to throw away the word expectation, because guess what? What have I always talked about here? You take care of the self, you will normally grow and you will evolve and you will make the higher choices and make the right choices, right? So you want to help each individual do that. You want to nurture the best out of them. And you don't do it with an expectation. You do it with unconditional acceptance and love.
When the kids come home and they had a long day at school, they had all these activities after school, they're overwhelmed. What's the best way to support them fully?
Oh, well, there you go. First of all, understand that they can deal with overwhelmingness. That is, I mean, we pile on. Humans are capable of a lot of different things and being able to do a lot of different things, right? The way we support them is you talk with them, conversation, communication, and accept them. A lot of times, this is what happens instead. Those kids are coming home and they're like, oh, yeah, and they're mouthing off them, I don't want that, I don't want to eat any of that, or I don't want this, right? And right away, we go into the expectation. Hey, wait a minute, I'm your mother, I'm your father, don't talk to me that way. I never did that with my own children. I turned around and I said, okay, wait, let's calm down, let's take some moment. I totally get it that you had school, you had practice, you had this, you had that, you had your test today. Why don't you just go inside, go to your room, or take a snack and just relax for a few minutes and we'll talk afterwards. Give them a chance.
And you know what? That works for young kids, but I feel like that also works with people of any ages. You just take that breath, and because, you know, that kind of never goes out of us as we're adults. We have uncle, you know, this person, everybody's dealing.
Everybody is dealing with something, and they come home overwhelmed in some place. But you know what? If you start treating them the right way as children, they will naturally grow to that place of not taking it out all over everybody to start with, right? So that's part of it. And then the love. Give the love. Give the love. Now, a lot of family units, this is the other thing. What was the intention of the family? You have to examine that. Did you wind up creating a family because you needed to create people to love you and accept you? Or did you create a family because you wanted to watch that family go out into the world, create their own family, share in their joy? That's exactly what I try to do with our own family and our own children. And so when you're doing that for them, it becomes a different kind of understanding and communication. It's not an expectation anymore. It becomes a joy. It becomes unconditional, and you're filling it with love. Love, love, love.
You're building them up. You're letting them grow and succeed.
And each one needs to be able to do that. Sit down and communicate. Bring that family dinner together. Hey, look, I'm Italian. We sat down.
Sunday
dinners. Every single night you come together, talk. But talk about what the other person is feeling, not what what you're feeling and with complaints.
Two-way street.
Vincent,
Thank
you
you, Vincent.
always have such great starting points, and I think that alone is a great conversation to start to have with your family.
Yes.
I know you can always help us. Where can we find more information? Maybe get your book, kind of a read up.
Oh, yeah,
What's
absolutely.
strengthen our
Well, it
lives?
always starts with taking care of yourself. So if you go to my website at vincentgenna.com, I've got my book there, The Secret That's Holding You Back. There's all ways of communicating with me so I can help you with that unconditional love, acceptance, and support in order to create your own strength that will lead to you creating an incredible family. And that's going to fix society.
I'm
There you
inspired.
go.
Okay,
Thank you
great
for being
information,
part of
Vincent.
our family. We
Always great.
appreciate
I
you.
love it. Right,
We
we're
care so
family.
much. We'll see you soon.
Yes,
Thanks,
I'm looking
Vincent.
forward to it.